What's up YouTube, Tom here. Today I'm going to be talking about 3 of the best value sports cars you can buy on the market today. Now, if you're like me, I want to make sure that I'm getting the best value out of the car for the money that I possibly can, which is why I believe these next 3 cars really deliver some of the best bang for buck you can buy on the used market today. Just to be clear, there are tons of sports cars out there that are great cars for the money. This is just my subjective list, so keep that in mind as I go through the 3. Now, coming in at number 3 on my list is simply a used Mazda Miata. Now, the reason a used Mazda Miata makes my list, specifically the earlier years, the NA or the NB model, is primarily because they are actually so cheap right now to buy. Now, you can pick up an NA model or an NB model, and these are from the early 90s to the late 90s, anywhere from $2,000 up to $10,000, but trust me, there's tons of them on the market for less than $5,000. These cars are great handling, lightweight, tons of fun, they're tossable, and a lot of times you can take the top down on them and cruise on the back road all afternoon long, all morning long, and you're gonna have yourself so much fun. Now, personally, having a lot of horsepower is fun, but feeling connected to the road and being able to toss your car around corners really is one of the most fun things about driving, especially on a windy back road on a nice cool day with your top down. Now, one of the best things about the Miata is the fact that there's so much aftermarket support for it, so you can go out online or go to different forums and learn about all the different modifications that are possible to do to the car and really customize it to make it your own. Now, you're definitely not going to be winning any drag races with the car, but in terms of fun and reliability and miles per gallon that it offers, it's pretty hard to beat, especially knowing that you paid so little for the car, and it really is one of the best cars you can get for the money. The great thing too about owning a Mazda Miata is the fact that if you buy it used, especially early to late 90s, if you go to sell it someday, you're not going to lose that much money on it, especially if you bought it so cheap to begin with. This is one of the key reasons I included it on the list, is because you're not going to lose so much money down the line. And if you're like me and you really like to save your money and make the most out of your purchases, this is going to be a great option, because if one day down the line it comes time to sell, you're not really going to lose much money on it, rather than if you were to go out and buy a brand new car, 10 years down the line, you could lose 50+% easily on the value of the car. Now, coming in at number 2 on the list of best value sports cars that you can buy in the market right now is a C5 or a C6 Chevrolet Corvette. Now that these cars are used and 10, almost 20 years old for a C5 and a C6 Corvette, the prices of them have dropped pretty substantially, to the point where I definitely believe that it's one of the best value sports cars you can buy right now. You can pick up a used C5 Corvette anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000, $16,000 all day long, and even pick up a C6 Corvette anywhere from high teens to low 20,000s, and the car you're getting for the money is really hard to beat in terms of value. The C5 Corvettes came with a 5.7 liter LS1 engine and produce about 350 horsepower, and the C6s came with an LS2 engine, a 6 liter, producing about 400 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. Since you can pick up a C6 Corvette from high teens to low 20s, if you can pick one up right around $20,000, the car that you're actually getting in terms of value is a great deal in my opinion. The speed, the handling, the performance, the overall fun factor of the car is really going to be so much fun, which is why I definitely made the list today. Now, the truth about the Corvette is that it holds its overall value price-wise pretty well. However, prices have come down substantially, especially with the new C7 that was released a few years ago, and the new C8 coming down. Expect these prices to come down. But if you're looking for a fun car anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000, this is a real consideration to keep in mind. So with the C8 Corvette coming out, I would expect prices of the C6 and C7 to come down just a bit, And for current C6 or C7 holders, this may not be the best because obviously you're gonna lose some value on it. But if you're looking to get in the Corvette game, I would definitely wait maybe until the C8 comes out and capitalize on any price drops that you may see. The aftermarket support for the Corvette is extraordinary. You can really go out and buy pretty much any modification that you want if you choose to do so. You can buy heads, cam, you can buy a supercharger, turbo kits, and slap it on the car. And you're really gonna have a pretty high horsepower street car if that's what you're going for. But if you choose to leave it stock, absolutely nothing wrong with that. Chances are, if you go to sell it someday, you're not gonna lose as much money. Coming in at number 1 on my list of best value sports cars you can buy right now is one of my all-time favorite cars, and it's a Honda S2000. Now, you can get a 2-liter S2000 producing about 240 horsepower, and this is known as the AP1 S2000, or you could pick up a 2.2-liter S2000 with about 240 horsepower. This is known as the AP2 S2000. Now, the reason this car ranks number 1 on my list is because it is actually such a fun car to drive around. You could throw the top down. That high-revving, naturally aspirated engine is really an engineering feat that Honda knocked out of the park when they did. But not only that, if you buy an S2000 right now, prices have pretty much bottomed out on them. And if you've been paying attention the last few years or so, prices have really been starting to creep up. Now, the reason it's made my list at number 1 is because it may not be as cheap as a Miata, and it may not be as powerful as a Corvette, but in terms of value and the money that you're putting into your purchase, I think it's definitely a good option, especially because prices have been going up. So if you want to buy the car, drive it for some years, and then eventually one day down the line, if you wanted to sell it, I can almost guarantee you're not going to lose much, if any at all. If you can find one for the price, right now they're going for about, if you wanted to buy one in the New York, New Jersey area, you're looking at anywhere from $18,000 to $25,000 for a pretty good low mile condition AP1 or AP2. But this could definitely pay off in the future if when you go to sell, because people are gonna look for low miles, they're gonna look for stock cars. And in the meantime, you could be driving it around, putting some miles on a year, and really enjoying what the car was built for. Just like the Miata, an S2000 isn't gonna be a car that you're gonna go and win a bunch of drag races with. You may in the Corvette, in the C5 or the C6 version, but that's not the reason you buy it. You're gonna buy it to enjoy it, drive it, have fun, and leave your ego out the door and just, go have fun on a windy road and really enjoy what the car was built for. Now, these cars are lightweight, similar to a Miata, but not quite as lightweight and may not be as nimble, but there's a lot more horsepower in a Miata. There's 240 horsepower, and the naturally revving engine up to 8,000 for the AP2 or 9,000 for the AP1 really puts a smile on your face, especially in a nice cool day or a nice warm day driving around a back road. It's really going to be hard to beat, especially knowing that you're not going to lose your butt one day if you go to get rid of the car. The price of the car is going to remain intact. And this is all hypothetical, assuming that you're going to want to sell the car. Chances are, if you buy it and you really enjoy it, it's not going to be a car that you want to sell anytime soon. You can go online. I see hundreds of posts on forums and YouTube videos saying that at one point somebody had an S2000 and for some reason or another they sold it and they instantly regretted it. And since then they've talked about they should have held on to it, or one day down the line they're going to buy another. Now, if you do choose to purchase an S2000, there is quite a bit of tunability, but just keep in mind that if you're going to spend $20,000 on a good low mile S2000 and then sink $10,000, $15,000, maybe even less, into supercharging it or a bunch of modifications, obviously the value proposition is going to go down quite a bit. But hey, it's your car, and I can guarantee you're going to enjoy its capabilities and what it really has to offer on the road. Well, there you have it, YouTube. That's short and sweet. There's 3 of the best value sports cars you can buy right now in the market. You got the Miata, that's low cost to begin with. It's gonna be tons of fun. You got the Corvette, that's a little bit more expensive than the Miata, but in terms of horsepower and sheer speed, you'll have a faster car than the Miata, and you'll definitely have fun driving it. And then the Honda S2000, because yeah, it may be more expensive, per horsepower than you're getting for the other 2 cars, but it's going to be tons of fun. And if you go to sell it one day down the line, it's not a car that's just going to plummet in value. I believe the value that's already been lost on these cars, has bottomed out, and it's only going to maintain steady or go up from here. So I think if you buy one of these cars, you're not going to lose your butt one day down the line to try and sell it. And that's really where the value proposition is. So if you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to like, subscribe, leave a comment, share with a friend, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.